Hello, students of class 9. Today we are going to see chapter 2, the Vedic period. So, first we'll see early Vedic period. So, in early Vedic period, it started from 1500 to 1000 BC. So, here you can see one map here. So, towards the northwest part of India, you can see brown shading is shown there. So, this is the region where Aryans first settled in India, and we call this period as early Vedic period. So, from where these Aryans might have come to India? Aryans, they came to India from Central Asia and they were nomads. Nomads means they were moving from one region to another region along with their cattle. Next we'll see the later Vedic period. So in later Vedic period you can see some changes in the map here, isn't it? So Aryans who were earlier settled in northwest region of India, now they have shifted towards the southeast direction. So how they have come towards southeast direction? So the Aryans, they followed the course of the rivers like Yamuna and Ganga, and by this time they were knowing the use of iron also. So they made iron tools and they cleared all the forest and they came towards the southeast direction, and gradually they settled in this region, that is Gangetic Valley, and this period is called as later Vedic period. Next we'll see sources. In that, literary sources. The Vedic text may be divided into two broad chronological groups. That is the early Vedic text from 1500 to 1000 BC, when most of the hymns of the Rig Veda were composed. The later Vedic text, that is from 1000 to 500 BC, to which belong the remaining Vedas, they are Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads, etc. The Vedic literature was written in Sanskrit language, and the term Veda has been derived from Sanskrit word Ved, which means knowledge. It is divided into two parts, namely Shruti and Smriti. It is believed that Shruti was revealed to the sages by God, and they passed on that knowledge orally from generation to generation. On other hand, Smriti literature was composed by rishis. So next we'll see Vedic literature. The Vedic literature can be classified into following categories, like the four Vedas. Which are the four Vedas? Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda, and their Samhitas. Samhitas means all these four Vedas were put together. Next is the Brahmanas attached to each Samhita. Third one, the Aranyakas. Fourth one, the Upanishads. Next we'll see all these Vedas in detail. First one, Rig Veda. Rig Veda, it is the oldest religious text in the world and is known as First Testament of mankind. It is divided into 10 mandalas. Mandalas means books. It is said to have composed during the early Vedic period. So the hymns are dedicated by the sages to gods, and they were passed on orally from teachers to their disciples. So here you can see they did not write the Rig Veda here, whereas they passed it orally from teacher to disciple. The Rigvedic hymns are the authentic sources of knowledge of life of people of the time. So we can get the information of early Vedic periods life of people from Rigveda. Much of the Indian philosophy is based on Rigveda. It also contains the famous Gayatri mantra also. Although religious in nature, the Vedas are a valuable source of information on various subjects. So here in Rigveda, the first word written was Agni. The hymns was written for Lord Agni. So next we'll go for the second Veda, that is Sama Veda. The term Sama means sweet song or melody. In this Veda, some of the hymns were borrowed from Rigveda. The hymns in Samaveda were meant to be sung at the time of sacrifice by the priest. Third Veda is Yajurveda. Yajurveda deals with hymns recited during the performance of yajnas. The hymns in this Veda throw light on the social and religious life of the Aryans. Fourth Veda, it is Atharva Veda. The hymns contained in this Veda deal with magic and charm. All mantras you can find here in Atharva Veda. Most of the hymns are taken from Rig Veda. Besides the powers of spirits, the hymns deal with Jnana. Jnana means knowledge. Karma means action. And Upasana means invocation. Some hymns also deal with medicines for the treatment of various diseases also. So you can see that the four Vedas, they are not only giving information regarding the early Vedic and later Vedic Aryans, but they are dealing with lots of other subjects also, isn't it? Next we'll see Brahmanas. Brahmanas written after the Vedas as their simple commentary. The Brahmanas are in prose. So here you can see Vedas were in the form of hymns. Hymns means like song or shlok form. Whereas Brahmanas, it is in the prose. Prose means the explanation to the hymns in the Vedas were written in Brahmanas. Maybe it is in the form of stories also. Okay. So they explain the social and religious importance of rituals as well as the value of sacrifices. The Brahmanas are of great historical value. Each Veda has several Brahmanas. Next we'll see Aranyakas. So Aranyakas, they are known as forest books. written for the guidance of the hermits and the students living in the forest. So Aranya means forest. So this book is dealing about forest. Okay. They form the concluding part of the Brahmanas. So this book is a concluding part for Brahmanas. There are main themes. They are mysticism and philosophy. Mysticism means attending complete truth or knowledge. Last we'll see the Upanishads. Upanishads, they are the philosophical commentaries on Vedas. The doctrines such as karma, moksha, and maya are explained in detail. The Upanishads form the basic source of Indian philosophy. Composed by different sages, they are said to form the foundation on which later additions to Vedic literature came. The most famous of these Upanishads are Chandogya Upanishad, Kenau Upanishad, Aitareya Upanishads, and Taittiriya Upanishads. So I hope this topic was clear to you all. So students, you read the chapter once again. Thank you children. Have a nice day.